This is Corolla Digital. Welcome to Hammer and Nails with Skip and Allison Bedell.
Hi-oh.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Oh, I didn't even think of doing that.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
It's Thanksgiving.
You know, I don't even think I can actually make a turkey sound
Gobble.
other than saying the word gobble.
Gobble, gobble. That's what you're going to be doing when this podcast is over.
Oh, God, he couldn't. I swear to God.
See that?
20
what
seconds
are we, 10
in.
seconds in?
20 seconds
You
in.
can always count on me.
No, I don't
What's
want
going
to.
on, y'all?
So we're
back.
We're functioning right now in a turkey coma. So we're like functioning alcoholics, but instead of alcoholic, it's turkey-holic.
Well, there's a little alcohol in there. It's like a
for
couple
you.
glasses of wine, but
Yeah,
it's mostly turkey, though.
Yeah, I'm like totally at turkey coma.
For the first time you tune it in, I'm Skip Bedell.
I'm Allison Bedell.
And thanks for coming back to Hammer and Nails, everybody.
We love that you came back and listened. Thank you so much.
We are back and out of a fresh, still currently in a turkey coma.
Yeah. I didn't get a nap today. I like to nap like a baby every day. And I didn't get my nap, and we've been at go since the minute we woke up.
Well, that's pretty much the theme, I think, for everybody when it comes to the holidays, right? It's like,
Yeah.
if you're not shopping, you're cooking. If you're not cooking, you're eating. If you're not eating, you're done eating, and then you're laying on the couch with the remote. It's like, it's a pretty busy time.
Yeah, I cooked the famous white sweet potato casserole today.
Oh, good God.
For the masses, and it was a huge hit. I'm telling you, people, if you have not gone onto our website, stop making that fucking face. You know what? I'm just going to close my eyes so I don't even see your faces anymore. That's what I'm going to do. You see my eyes closed? I'm not even looking at you. Which means that hammernailspodcast.com website has my sweet potato recipe, how to bake it's the best ever. And then I put the topping on it, which is something really close to Boston Market. You've had the sweet potatoes from Boston Market?
Yes.
And they have the little marshmallows on them, too. I didn't put the marshmallows, but I did everything else, like the topping.
Whatever you did, it was damn good.
Yeah, everybody really loved it. So it's one of the very few things I can cook.
That's the thing that disappears the fastest.
Yeah, and everybody right away was like, wow, this is good. Wow, this is good. And then when everybody was taking leftovers, they were trying to get to that so they would have some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a good turkey day, though.
Yeah, and we were at some place that we had never been before. I think that like every year for like the last, I don't know, bunch of years, it's like we're like Thanksgiving hopping, like different places between
We're the Thanksgiving nomads.
Yeah, like we've really been inconsistent with having like at the same place. We've hosted a lot of holidays, but we haven't had it here a lot.
We actually did it here last year, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I lost track. Like I don't even.
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, we did that
we
here. That last year was here, but I didn't. The only thing that I cooked was broccoli, which again I cook that insane as well, and the sweet potato casserole. And Mom cooked the turkey, and everybody else brought sides and shit like that because I can't do it all.
It's a lot of work.
It's just not for me.
I just know it's a lot of work for me to eat it all. So I can imagine.
And then
how
while
much work
everybody
it is
else
for everybody to make it all
cleans up too.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. That's right. Last year, didn't I carved the turkey last year, and Dad made fun of me.
Yeah, because they didn't like how.
Right?
Yeah,
because I didn't have the right knife. Like for some reason, the knife I was using was it wasn't doing the job well. So I decided to use like a regular steak knife. And I just like hacked into it. I was hacking it.
Yeah, I mean it was fine, really. I thought what you were doing was fine.
I thought it was good.
I don't really get the whole like who's gonna go over the turkey? What the fuck is that?
It's the tradition, man. It's like the man of the house carves the bird. That's what happens. You wouldn't understand that because you're not the man of the house. But as the man of the house, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, it's like you're supposed to carve the turkey, so when you go to somebody else's house, like that's what they do.
But I don't care how they cut it or like what knife they use, as long as there's a slice of the section I like. Right. I'm going to take it. And if it's like not the size that I like, if it's too big, I'll take my own knife and cut off a piece. Like, who gives a shit?
You cut off a piece of your own.
For myself, yeah. Oh my God, on that table before, there was like 3 large platters, and the one that was directly in front of us, I saw dark meat. I was like, score, because I like the dark meat from the thigh. So I was like, cool. I'm like, there's not a whole lot there. There's like a lot of white meat on the other plates, but I'm going to take this dark meat over here. So I took some. I took like not even a big piece, and then I gave you
and
some.
I told you like three times,
and you said no.
I kept telling you, but you didn't want to listen.
So I said, you want some? And you're like, yeah. And you lapped that piece, and it was a small piece. And I was like, you want some more? You're like, no, I'm going to, I'll leave it for everybody else. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's 2 huge platters full of turkey. What's wrong with you? And then it turned out it was duck.
Well, if you were to listen to the 3 times that I told you, I said, it's duck. It's duck. It's duck, and that's the only platter.
I think maybe something was flying around the room and you were telling me to duck.
No.
I wasn't paying attention to you.
You were not listening to me.
No.
I was trying to tell you there's only one plate with duck on it, and I heard the person who was hosting the party make a point of it earlier on because I was there while he was carving up all of the birds. And he's like, yeah, I also have duck today. I was able to get some. It's really expensive. I hope everybody likes it. So there's one plate that's out on the table, and you basically took like half of it off onto your plate. So now you understand what the fuck I was talking about? Now you get it? I was trying to tell you. Leave a little bit for... there's like 12, 20 people. I don't even know how... There's a lot of people there, right? So there's like 3 little scrap pieces of duck left on the plate after you got done.
No, that's not true.
You know what it was? Also, Bruce did the same thing. I watched him like he was the first one at it, and I don't think he realized. And he took like these 2 like one piece was like half the whole damn duck. Duck's not that big. Probably thinking that it's dark meat turkey, and there's probably 2 or 3 more dark meat.
They should have made an announcement.
You know how like when you're at the table and there's like a couple of plates of white meat, a couple of plates of dark meat, right? So I'm sure he just wasn't thinking. So he just like dug into this thing and like it's pretty much like half gone. And then you come along and you start throwing it on my plate and pulling it on your plate, and there's basically...
But I took small pieces.
Yeah.
But you had already seen Bruce take half the duck.
Yeah,
That's why you had that in your mind.
I was watching him and I was just like shaking my head going... all right.
Did you happen to notice what else went on that side of the table?
Oh, God, no.
So meanwhile, like everybody, it was like buffet. Like you get up and walk over to where the food was, get your plate, and then sit down.
Right.
So, and I know like your mom, usually when we have dinner with her or like a holiday dinner, she likes to do the grace thing, which I'm not religious, never have been religious. I'm not even Catholic.
It's not about you. It's about the people who are hosting the party, right?
I didn't say it was fucking about me.
Right, I'm just saying.
My fucking point is that I know what her plan is before dinner, because until I was with that family, I never did that ever. But I know that her thing is to say something before they eat. So I'm watching everybody get food, and I went and got my food, and Dad brought over food to you, and then we all we're starting to sit down. Everybody's sitting, and the only 2 people at the table like filling their gut is Mom and Bruce, my stepfather, Bruce. So they're fucking. I mean, like they're eating so fast that they're almost done with their Thanksgiving dinner, right? So meanwhile, now everybody's gathering around, and now I see.
Well, do you notice that I was sitting next to the full plate of food that you brought me, right? Or
Dad brought it over.
Somebody made it
because I couldn't hold both plates with Kilo in my arms.
Especially if it's buffet, like you wait till everybody gets to the table before you start.
Yeah,
eating.
but
and then I know they're going to say some sort of blessing, something. It's just like standard procedure.
But even without the blessing. They never are the types to wait for people to start eating. They just start. That. Yeah, so they were eating. So then all of a sudden they were going to start. Yeah, so people were standing up and they were going to do like a group, like they were going to start this prayer thing. Right. And Bruce caught on. So now he stops. He puts his fork down, and meanwhile, Mom's like, she's still shoveling it in. And you hear him telling her, like, slow down, slow down. He was telling her something like, slow down, right? And she kept eating, and she wasn't getting it. And then all of a sudden, somebody said, like, they're going to start start saying grace, and then Mom, not realizing that I think that they were serious, she started saying, God is great, God is good, and blah, blah, something for this food.
She went into babbling into
she was like making a joke out of it.
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, she's making a joke out of it.
I'm like, wait a second, what are you doing?
I know. She's eating and making a fake grace. Thanks, Mom. Like, I was like, oh God, she doesn't notice. She doesn't realize.
Well, that's all right. I mean, she didn't get it, but I mean, like.
But I'm just like, leave it to Mom. Because I knew that she would. I mean, she started eating before I ever sat down.
Everybody has their own traditions and stuff. Obviously, she wasn't aware of what they were doing.
She was just hungry.
Yeah. Everybody was hungry.
I don't know, but I just, I
think
knew.
at one point she caught on, though, finally she stopped eating.
Well, because Bruce kept saying to her, like, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, is what he and she wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, yeah.
Gotta love Mom, man.
Oh God, it was like because and then cool. At some point she caught my eye, like she looked up, and I was looking at her, hoping that she would catch my eye so I could give her like the stop eating, stop it right now.
Well, she would have been stopped in like 3 more minutes because she would have been done.
Yeah, did you see their plates? Their plates were like on E. Both of them.
That's
well,
funny.
Everybody hadn't even put a bite in their mouth yet.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, and as everybody was standing there looking at her, waiting to say grace, she kept shoveling it into her face.
She was hungry.
But that was the funny part about it, was that even after all of that, and they were waiting to say grace, she was still shoveling.
Everybody's having a good time, man. The food was awesome, right?
It was good.
When you go to somebody's house for the first time, like we don't know these people well. We were invited as guests, as
it's your sister's fiance's aunt and uncle.
Right. So it's like you don't know what their traditions are and stuff. So, anybody who's ever gone to anyone else's house for the first time for Thanksgiving, it's kind of like, all right, you want to follow what everybody else there is doing, because usually all the other people have been there for the last 30 years, right? Like you're like the new kid on the block.
Yeah,
so
well, I noticed.
Just kind of hang back. I usually just hang back. Yeah. I'm like, let me just hang back and just watch and wait.
That's what I was doing.
Everybody else does.
I didn't want to put a bite into my mouth until I observed if anybody else was.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like, let's just see what happens,
right?
Because for all they're going to get up and do, like turkey aerobics or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be the only guy not doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, and for that matter, actually, doing jumping jacks. For that matter, actually,
turkey aerobics.
You and I, in addition to Mom and Bruce, were the only people sitting at the table at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, should we not be sitting? But meanwhile, you've got the sciatica right now, which is a whole other story.
Well, I got this whole crazy back thing going on, man. Ever since that job I did last week to demo that house, and I just wrecked. I think instead of wrecking the house, I wrecked myself.
You wrecked your back.
I totally wrecked myself.
You had to have herniated a disc somehow,
whatever I did,
or
pinched. Whatever.
Because now you got this really bad sciatica.
It's like a week later, and it's like now my foot's numb and my
your
toes
ass
are
cheek
tingling.
is really bad.
Like if your leg falls asleep or your foot falls asleep and it's numb. Basically, you can stomp it on the floor and you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You just feel like a little bit of tingles. That's pretty much what I'm feeling like the last 3 days straight.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, that really sucks.
But I try not to focus on that while we're sitting there having.
And you've been in pain, like you haven't been. Last night when you got up in the middle of the night, you were barely able to walk.
Saw that?
It was it was really, 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 really bad.
It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and all I kept thinking was, thank God that you're not working, like literally at that moment, because you wouldn't be able to function.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Today,
hopefully it's going to get better.
Not right away though. I mean, that's a good 2 to 6 weeks, sometimes even a couple of months.
I got work to do, so
And now you got to suffer through it.
I'm going to be working like that, so that's what it is.
It sucks.
That's what it is, baby. But anyway, on a better note, it was cool today. We had a good time, awesome time. We got to spend time with family and friends and eating lots of turkey, and I'm definitely.
They played some game at the what was that dice game called?
Left, right, center.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys know about that? Left, right, center? I mean,
nobody's going to answer you right now.
Well, Evan, I'm putting it out there. They'll answer back on social media or something. But I mean, it's a pretty cool game. I watched them play it. We had probably, I'm going to say 15 people at the table. So when you have a lot of people, evidently, I guess, the more it makes it more fun. And it was pretty cool to watch how they were playing it. With the dice and everything. And yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah. Speaking of 15 people, there was this is another dilemma I had at the table.
It's a dilemma.
Well, it was a dilemma. Because there was a lot of desserts and stuff put out. There was a variety of things that came out, right? And then they brought out this big box of Carvel. They looked like turkeys. They were like ice cream sandwiches.
They were ice cream turkeys.
Yeah, but like the top cookie was upright, and then they had decorated it with some kind of ice cream, cake decorating stuff, and it looked like a turkey basically. And there was 6 or 8 of them. Right. Okay. So with that in my mind, I'm thinking.
Oh, I already know what you're thinking. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. But like, what do? Do you like cut the turkey in half?
Right. Because there wasn't enough for everybody to have one if they wanted one.
Right.
So now I'm thinking, am I going to be the one who's going to remove 15% of the dessert?
Maybe you could just like chop off the turkey head or something
I know.
and leave the rest.
I know. So I said to you, I'm like, you want to share this with me? You're like, okay. So I'm thinking, okay, that's fair. Like now 2 people are going to eat this one thing. So I put it on the plate. I didn't make it a sandwich. I was using the fork to break into the ice cream and I was eating some of it. And I was thinking to myself, this is good. I can eat the whole thing. And so that was.
That's after you asked me if I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah. But then, so I gave you the top
I
cookie
see your
piece.
Tactic. Yeah, like if you asked me to share it with you first, then you can
because I wanted to share it
with
you.
Feel bad about it, but then wait a minute.
But then it tasted good, and I wanted it.
Wait a second.
And I was thinking, fuck, So then at some point, I ate enough ice cream that I felt like, well, the rest, like the other half of it is still here. I'll offer you the half. And to which you said yes. And to which I was disappointed. And then to which you ate it. And to which I was more disappointed.
Well, if you ask me if I want something, I say yes. Back up, bitch, because I'm going to eat it.
It's like, fuck, man.
What do you think I'm saying yes just to like...
And then I said, do you want to share another one of these?
That's like, want to lick? Psych. No, man.
No, because then at this
Put
point,
it on my plate, it's going to evaporate
10
quickly.
minutes went by, and I was like, okay, well, everybody's had a chance to take one at this point, and now they're probably going to be like a little bit of melty on the inside. I was like, you want to share another one? Because I'm thinking I can't take a whole one, because then it would be me taking like 30% of the whole thing.
Kind of like the duck.
Yeah.
Well, that was more like 50%.
No, it wasn't. I had a small piece of thigh, and I even put some back after you told me it was duck.
Once I told you,
I put it back. But anyway, so yeah, and then you said you didn't want any more of that thing, so I didn't take any, and I really wanted more of that. Yeah.
So what happened? You didn't take
I didn't take any more, and I wanted more, but
I
didn't.
I'll get you another ice cream turkey. Don't worry. I'll get you a whole box. Then you can have it.
Yeah. And I didn't have coffee either.
Well, speaking of that game, that left, right, center game, that was pretty cool. And also, they were playing stuff outside. Like,
I was tossing a beanbag.
Oh, yeah. It was like the beanbag toss, right?
Yeah.
The thing out in the yard. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it turns out I'm skilled at everything I do.
Yeah, well, I was standing there on the deck watching you toss that beanbag across the yard, man. And, like, everybody else was, like, lobbing it way up in the air and dropping it down to get it in the hole on the box, And you're like throwing these line drives that are like, they're like going over the box and almost knocking Steven over. Like,
yeah. But I actually got one in the hole. I got a bunch of them at the edge of the hole. I'm good at getting things in the hole.
Yeah, you're good at finding the hole, especially in dark cases.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I easily get things into the hole.
Yeah. Well. You were pretty good at it. It was
Thank you. I was feeling the pressure of people watching, and I was like, I'm going to be good at this. I'm going to show everybody how good.
You were good after about the first 10 throws to throw. The first bunch of throws, you were like,
I wasn't trying.
If there wasn't a fence there, they would have been in the next yard.
No, I wasn't trying. I was talking to your sister, and I kept forgetting to throw. I was like, oh, it's my turn. Oh, it's my turn. Oh, like I wasn't paying attention really because I was having a good conversation with her.
Yeah.
But when I tried, I was good when I tried. Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving, that's like a thing, right? Like a tradition. Like
you know what? I've never done that before.
No, not that. I'm just saying, like people play games, like usually
football,
when family comes over, like they throw the football, right? They have the family football game.
Never did that.
Like
you had that fucking parade on this morning. I heard like that some opera. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? I thought like you had on like
the fucking parade. What are you? It was Macy's Thanksgiving Day.
I know,
parade.
but I didn't know you were watching it, and I was like, why do I hear opera in the other room?
Well, it wasn't opera.
It was a Broadway play.
Yeah, they always
thing.
have like Broadway, plays, like people featured on, like current.
That was really
so
boring.
You came out, you're like, what the hell? You didn't know I had parade on. That's what it was.
And then I tried watching it, and it seemed.
You didn't go to the parade?
No, and I don't want to.
In New York City?
No.
Yeah, that's.
I don't even like watching it on TV. I want to go watch it in person and with a bunch of people crushing me, and it's cold out.
Usually it's like really cold, right? Usually everybody looks like they're freezing their ass off.
It's always colder in the city.
I wouldn't mind going to. I haven't been, but I wouldn't mind going to a Thanksgiving Day parade because that looks like a lot. It's daytime and it's a lot more like well put together. As opposed to like New Year's Eve in Times Square is like a complete clusterfuck of like, what do they get? Like 1 million people there or something? Like
it's ridiculous.
Crazy number standing in the cold. I don't, like we live like right here.
You gotta you gotta wear a catheter.
Right, people come from all over the world to go to Times Square. We live in New York. We're only an hour away from Manhattan, so it's like it's kind of odd that we've never done that. But I much prefer to watch it on TV.
Absolutely.
At some party or whatever we're doing.
Like, I noticed that like the first time I was ever in New York City with tons of people and like major fucking crowds, like where you literally cannot move. It was like in 2003, I went to the New York City Gay Pride Parade, and it was fucking hot because it's always the last weekend in June, and there are thousands of people. And at the end of the parade, or towards the end of the parade, when you're down in the Village, it's like there's on all four corners of the streets, and they got the streets blocked off so you can't cross. And the people, the bodies are packed really tight, and you can't walk anywhere.
It's like a sardine can.
It is. You cannot move.
What do you do when you gotta like go to the bathroom or something?
And there's signs on all these fucking places for customers only. And it's boiling hot outside because it's always so hot.
What do you do?
You, I guess, try to use purchase something, or or if it's a bar, you sit at the bar and buy a drink or something so that you can then use the bathroom, because none of these places want these crowds in there using their toilet.
St. Patrick's Day Parade is like famous for that too. They get it's huge. That's like one of the biggest parades anywhere in the world in New York City. And like people are famous for peeing all over the streets, and because there's nowhere to go, and like you're packed in, everybody's drinking. So that's like one of the only parades where you can like walk up and down the streets with beers, and people go on bar crawls and stuff like that. So it's almost like they can't make it to the next place.
You know what? You need to go to a medical supply place, really, and buy a catheter in a bag and learn how to catheterize yourself.
Man, I'm not sticking a tube.
Remember when I couldn't pee after my hysterectomy, and I had to use the catheter?
I will find some place to pee. I'm not. No.
They're not sticking a thing
I don't
in
know
the
how
pee
that
hole.
felt for you, but
it doesn't. Now you know what?
I can tell you right now, you don't want a tube in your pee hole.
Not men, I guess, more so than women.
Definitely not.
But I mean, if you know how to do it properly, it goes in fairly easily.
Yeah, have fun with that. I'm going to pee on the sidewalk.
And I'm just saying, like, if you're going to be someplace for like 24 hours, because I mean, really, if you're going to get a good spot, you got to be there at least 24 hours.
Still going to pee wherever. No tube in my dick, not happening.
Yeah.
No.
Well, what about a girl? How do you suppose? I don't know.
I don't know, but I can tell you that I'm going to figure out some
other
method.
And what if you get a crap? That too.
That's a different story.
That's even worse, because you can kind of hide pee and kind of squat on the ground.
I don't know, but all I know is that's not going to happen, so I'll have to figure it out.
Speaking of crap, those beets, oh my God. I bought like those 4 giant beets this past week, and you didn't eat the beets. I ate the beets.
I did.
All I want to say is the coolest thing ever happened to me. For the last 2 days, I've been taking purple shits. It's awesome. It's like the color of eggplant. Purple.
That sounds awesome.
I
am so happy for you.
It's so cool. I
can't possibly tell you how excited I am right now to hear that.
It's like grape ape.
Hang on a second. Let me just make a quick call. I'm going to put a post out. Guess what?
I took a purple shit today.
My wife shit out an eggplant. That's great.
I've eaten a lot of beets in my life. I love beets, but I think I ate like an extra amount of beets because I bought big giant ones, and that was just awesome.
So we were talking about these games that go
Thanksgiving.
on at Thanksgiving. Do you recall like any as growing up as a kid going to people's houses?
Do you have a good story about that?
Well, I mean, there was always different types of. I mean, everybody did all different.
Sounds boring to me. Do you have any good story?
Boring?
Is there a story you're about to tell?
No, I'm just asking you if you were.
No.
You don't recall. Well, so we're throwing a freaking beanbag today. I mean, there's not anything more exciting than there's nothing else that you can.
I did it because they were doing it. I mean,
like Twister.
I didn't feel like playing the dice game, whatever they were doing at the end there.
Well, that was actually fun. Yeah, that was cool.
Was it? Because
Yeah.
it didn't seem appealing to me, and plus I was already starting to fall asleep. Like I needed a nap, and so I was really not into it.
You were going deep into the turkey coma.
Yeah, I just they were also drinking though. I think some people, and Some people were drinking, and so they were still having fun, whereas I don't drink, and I was getting turkey coma, and I was just like, I want to be alone now.
Yeah, you have to mix a certain. It's like an alcohol to turkey ratio that kind of offsets the tryptophan.
Tryptophan?
Yeah. Yeah. So this way you can kind of balance it out, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no.
No.
You know what? I think every Thanksgiving I've ever done in my entire life ends up just being really fucking lame, and boring afterwards. Because it's like, okay, we're about to eat.
Well, that wasn't boring. No, that was a nice day today.
No, I'm saying for me,
Oh.
it was a nice day, talking to family and all that. But I'm saying after we ate,
yeah,
I was done. I'm ready to go home now.
Wow.
We talked before, we talked during, we ate, and when I was done eating, I felt like I was done.
No.
I can go home now.
I could have stayed much longer. I had a great time talking with my mom and my sister, and I definitely was having fun there. What if my back being blown out would probably still be there?
Well, you'd be there.
Yeah.
Because, I wanted to take a nap, and I didn't feel comfortable laying on the couch. I was the only one,
Right.
I don't know.
You taking a turkey nap?
I needed. You know what? Thanksgiving is not the holiday for me to have a fun time. It's just I eat too much and then you just get tired. I had.
Well, that's what they have football on for. That's what you do.
That. I'm not interested in that either. I was just recalling a Thanksgiving because, like I said, every year my Thanksgiving has been different. With you, since we've been together, we've had it with moms and I think we've had it here because we have the big table.
A couple times here.
But before I was with you, my last marriage also, no family, no brothers, sisters, no in-laws there because they're in another state. So again, it was just mom and dad and Bruce and me and whoever I was with. And then before that, mom and Bruce started going to Florida, snowbirds for the winter before even Thanksgiving. So then it would just be me and dad. And then it would just us and I think a bunch of times it was just us. And then one time I had a friend eat with us and we invited him to join us. And me and dad were going to do a Boston market Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's
we weren't going to, because it's good.
Wow. You guys are going all out.
We weren't going to cook. We were just going to go pick up to go.
Are you bringing it back in a paper bag?
Well, it was a big plastic bag. There was all the sides and everything, but we got it from Boston Market. So nice. My friend who didn't have anywhere to go, we invited him. This is the same friend that told my cats to get off the table, and I was like, right. You're gonna have to go now.
Right.
So I think this was maybe before that happened. So we invite him. And dad's on the phone asking what sides do you want? Blah, blah, blah. So I got my friend over my condo and I'm, what sides do you like? And he goes, ask if they have meatloaf. And I'm thinking, what? First of all, it's Thanksgiving. Second of all, we're buying you dinner and we're getting turkey. Third of all, don't ask for meatloaf, motherfucker. We're inviting you to our house for Thanksgiving. You don't get meatloaf. I was so pissed he wanted meatloaf.
You think you were going through the drive-thru?
Yeah, it was
hey, pick me up a quarter pounder with cheese.
Special requests.
No, you know what? Make that a chicken sandwich and a large fry.
Yeah, it's you're coming to my house for dinner, whether or not I'm making it or buying it. You're going to eat what we have, motherfucker. Don't ask for meatloaf. What the fuck is that? I was so pissed.
Yeah, you gotta have turkey on Thanksgiving.
Yes! It's we're not just hanging. It's not like another day we're just hanging out having dinner. It's Thanksgiving.
Right.
We're getting turkey. And we're getting it from Boston Market. And you're going to eat it.
And you're going to eat it and you're going to like it.
Fuck. I was so annoyed with that. That really turned me off, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you more turned off with the get me the meatloaf, or was it the cats off the table?
It was a combination of both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was this a friend with benefits? Or
yes.
See? There you go. No more benefits for you.
Wasn't digging that so much. Yeah.
Wow.
Big turnoff.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just deal breaker, boom. Yeah. In something you would never have anticipated that all of a sudden you're completely turned off. You're okay, we're done.
There you go.
That's it.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
Bye.
Totally.
What else you got?
So anyway, there is a lot of emails right now for shopping for Black Friday.
Oh, God.
And
yeah, let's go stand in line for 4 hours.
I'm not standing in line anywhere.
No,
seriously, I already do all my shopping online, and I this year, really, I plan on doing all of my shopping online because I don't want to hit any of those stores and the crowds.
No, the traffic, like the crowds, not being able to get a parking spot, the
Yeah.
road rage. My blood pressure right now is already getting escalated thinking about
It's
getting
already
in the
really
car and
bad.
have to go get somewhere.
And you know what? There's
To
so
beat
many.
someone down on a red
You
light.
can get everything online. I'm like really with the Amazon. I'm so into it more than ever. I mean, I've been using it for years, but even they have everything. I also eBay. I've been eBaying for years. So I think that I'm just going to really seriously make an effort to buy everything online for everybody that we need to get stuff for.
Well, they start like all the shopping frenzy even before it gets earlier every year, which is no secret. Every year they keep saying, well, it's going to be like
There's pre-Black Friday sales now.
The Black Friday started like 2 weeks ago, like in some stores, right? So now like stores are open on Thanksgiving, which, obviously is a controversial type of thing because the whole like family structure is basically disintegrated. Really, people don't sit down to have dinner anytime during the week anymore because everybody's working 3 jobs, whatever. The kids are like, stuck to their smartphones, texting their friends. Like, that just doesn't happen anymore. So, like, you look forward to maybe the couple of days out of the year, the big holidays that you can actually spend time with family, and, like, that's what you do, right? Now, it's like, even today, they're saying Thanksgiving, shop all day.
Yeah, and there's places that open.
What is that?
Yeah, and like those people, while everybody's home eating, are in the store because they're working, and like I don't even know if anybody. Yeah, I guess people are flooding to the stores because of the sales.
Yeah, the stores were packed today.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
It is fucked
that's
up.
That's
like whatever happened to like today's the day for your family. Today's the day to be home with your family. Let's not forget about what the holiday is about. It's about being thankful, right?
No, it's about shopping.
No,
it's about shopping.
Not. No, it's not about shopping. It's about
That's
overeating.
What the stores say.
It's about sitting on the couch with too much turkey and stuffing in you and watching football and drinking beer. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And I love to shop, and I didn't even have the energy if I wanted to, but I definitely had the energy to do it on my phone. But what would you do if like your boss told you have to work?
That, by the way, because we were at this house tonight, friends of the family and everything for the first time again with You want to follow protocol with what they're doing with their traditions, right? Because we're guests in their home. So Bob, the guy who invited us to the house, which by the way was a beautiful home, beautiful. We had a great time there. They were really nice people. Food was great and everything. But there was like one point where we were all sitting on the couch, and it was kind of like our group, right? Like me and you, your mom, Bruce, your dad, right? And we're kind of in the living room, and like then
it occurred to me,
all of those their people, right?
Separated.
Like we're the newcomers, like we're in the living room
together,
and they're all in there, and it kind of felt like awkward. And then I looked around, and every one of us, myself included, were on our phones. And I'm like, this is not right. It wasn't right. And then no sooner than I looked down at my screen and I shut my phone off, Bob comes walking through, the host of the party comes walking through, and he sees everybody in the living room on their phones, and he made some stupid comment, not stupid comment, it was actually a good comment. He was like, I'm so glad I don't have a smartphone. I still got this flip phone. He pulled his flip phone.
Fuck? Yeah.
It's like the Captain Kirk flip phone out of his pocket.
Oh my God.
What did I say? I go, oh my God, they still make those things?
And he said, no, I've got like 3 in the attic.
He actually has backup.
Yeah.
Because he refuses to get a smartphone. He has 2 more, he said, in the box. You can't even buy those anymore, he said.
Oh my God.
And he goes, I hate smartphones. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm like, how do you
live?
Yeah, like,
how do you know how to get to places without GPS?
I had this revelation. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? And then he said it as I'm thinking. He goes, you know what? He's like, in a couple of years, he's like, these are going to make a comeback. He's like, everybody's going to just like, revolt against the smartphones. It's taking up all your time. And then he went into that whole thing. We watched that 2020 program or something where like they did a study. They put cameras in a family's homes, where like they were on like a reality show, and they put cameras in every room of their house, and they recorded them for like a week. And in that week, they saw how much
parents
time,
did more, right?
How much time they spent on their smartphone. And every night at dinner, when they were supposed to be having dinner together, the kids are like on the couch on their smartphone. The husband and wife are at the table, not talking to each other on their phones. And then even when they were in bed at night, the husband and wife were laying next to each other in the bed and they're on their phones. So they recorded all this stuff, and it was something like 120 hours in the week. The parents were on average on the phone. The kids spent like 60 hours in the course of a week on their phone. The dog spent like something like it was like holy shit. It was like these staggering numbers. I'm like, oh my God, like that's so much time that they could have been spending with each other. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So here we are guests in this guy's house.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has a thing for like people being on their phones, and we're all sitting there in a huddle, just our group.
I needed a rest because it was like even when we finished dinner, right? Everybody got up from the table, and I think it was like you, me, and your mom were still sitting at the table after we were done eating, and all the plates were cleared away. It's like, I'm not ready to get up yet. I'm like, I'm too full. I'm digesting. I need to sit.
They were like on the scooter, like racing up and down the street.
Like, what?
They were like out in the backyard playing the beanbag toss or something. Whatever. They were all running around the whole house.
I didn't get that at all. I was like, what?
I got to digest some turkey, man.
Yeah, especially when you have like a holiday dinner. It's like extra food in you. Fuck that. I'm not getting up. And, you know, it's like I was like multitasking when I was on my phone on the couch because I was like combination relaxing and digesting and perusing the internet for good sales.
Right. Well, I can only say that I have to agree with him. I think that especially when people get together, that you should leave your phones at the door. It's like, we were all doing it tonight, and I like.
But it's wasteful time if I'm relaxing and not looking for something that I needed.
You're there as a guest at someone's house. You shouldn't be on the phone. No. Hang it up. Not good. Rude. Not nice.
So I was with that in mind, with the people that have to work in the stores, having shitty jobs that takes them away from their family, or else they can't keep their job. I was thinking about shitty jobs that I've had. I've had a multitude of shitty jobs.
I've had a couple of shitty jobs. I mean, like I've spent a lot of time doing stuff for myself a lot of my life, but as a really young person, I had like my first couple of jobs were really shitty. My first job was like my first job was working for this landscaper that lived in my neighborhood, and I was like, I don't know, 13, and I would go with him. Like he gave me like the worst part of the job. I'd go out. First of all, I rode in the back of the truck, the open dump truck thing with all the grass blowing around all over the place, right? Holding on to like the wooden fence sides of the dump truck, right? With like, you know, 2 or 3 other guys that spoke no English, and we're riding around with the grass blowing in your face. And then you get to the house, and I was the one who had to like, you know, rake up all the leaves, and like I was doing all the stuff that I wasn't running the lawnmowers or running the weed whacker or anything like cool. You know, I had no power tools. I just had to like do all the manual shit.
Junk work. Yeah,
the junk work.
Yeah, one of my first.
That job sucked.
It sounds like I
never had the job though. It was like I was a kid. You know, whatever. I don't even remember what he paid me, but whatever it was $20 a day. Who knows? To me, it was like, you know, it was money.
Yeah.
And even from a very young age, I wanted to make money. So as much as it sucked, I was happy to have it.
I actually didn't want to work. My mom made me work because, you know, it was like, get out of bed. I was like waking up at 1 p.m. all the time,
nice.
You know, like on the days I wasn't in school. And so I remember one of my earlier jobs, I was, you know that place Downport, the seafood place on the corner by the water. So it's like one of those places where you go up to the counter, you place your order, they give you a receipt with a number on it, and then you sit down, you wait for them to call your number, you go up and get your food, and you sit down. So it's not really like a waitress job, but it's more like bussing, almost like clean up after when the people leave. You know, you take your trays and your shit.
You get your food, you get it on a tray, take it to your table, and then like when people finish eating, they get up and walk away.
Right. And so my job was to clean off the tables, take the tray, throw out the shit, you know, and like, you know, keep the tables clean, you know.
So you weren't serving any food.
No.
So you're probably not getting any tips.
Sometimes people would leave a little bit of a tip, but when that job, first of all,
that job sounds like it sucks.
Let me tell you what the first major suck about that job. First of all, the major suck about that job was that it was a seafood restaurant. Seafood restaurants have crab and lobster that require dipping in butter. Everything's fucking slimed with butter. Okay, everything you touch is greasy, and it's like you can't escape the grease of butter. Everything you touch is greasy. The tray is greasy. The silverware, the tables are greasy. It gets on the floor, so you're constantly cleaning greasy, loose butter, which is disgusting, and that gets old really fucking fast.
Butter.
And when And when I finally reached my limit,
Butter.
Stop it, was when they said to me, they asked me to clean the ladies' room.
Ah.
That's where I drew the line.
That's it.
Yep.
That's what you said, no.
Yep.
Not doing it.
That was it. I was done.
That's it?
Yep. No. When I get a job like waitressing or bussing or whatever, I don't clean toilets. That's like you hire a janitor to come in like overnight or something or whatever. It's not me. I don't do public toilets. Thank you very much. Right. It's just not my thing.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be in the food service business, hopefully you're cooking the food, and if you're not the guy cooking the food, making the money, then you're like the person serving, at least for getting some good tips. Because if you have a good personality, you could make some money.
Right.
But if you're like the kid cleaning the tables, and you're like basically the bus boy or the bar back or whatever they call it, it's like. That's like a thankless job because you get paid like nothing, money.
Yeah.
You're the one that cleans up everybody's shit. You get no tips.
Yeah.
It's like no.
It was. I think if I remember correctly, it was like $7 an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
And so it was like I had to work a lot of hours to make any kind of money. But
that reminds me of the next job that I had the next summer. Now I think I was like 14 or 15, maybe 14. And I think when do you get your working papers? When you're like
13.
13?
I think 13 or 14. Yeah.
14. All right. So whatever I needed to get those working papers, I got this job in a restaurant. So with the landscaper, like they're paying you cash, whatever, and whatever. There's no working papers if he doesn't give a shit. No one even spoke any English, right? So. And I had a couple other jobs during that summer too that I was working like a few days a week with like some of my dad's when I started doing like carpentry with some of my dad's contractor friends, and I'm working with plumbers and electricians, and I'm doing everything. But I like those jobs. The job of raking the leaves sucked, doing all the cleanup stuff. The next worst job was in the food service business, and I was working at this restaurant. Now, I was hoping to get promoted to busboy because that would have been good. When I started out the job, I started out in the kitchen, and I was working for all these dudes. Again, couldn't speak a word of English. Right? They were all laughing at me, calling me like whatever, calling me like some stupid, Spanish names and shit. That like I still don't know what the hell they were calling me, but to them it was pretty funny. I was like the little gringo that was running around cleaning up all the shit. I was scraping out like the deep fryers. Like they were making they had these crazy onion rings in this place, and they were like beer battered, and every day you had to clean out. So they had a lot of these.
At least they were doing that.
Yeah, they had a lot of these deep fryers though, because that was a big thing on their menu. So I had to like dump that shit and scrape and it was, you talk about like slimy. The whole floor was like a tile floor in the kitchen. And you would basically just ice skate around. You couldn't really take a step because you'd slip and fall. Your feet stayed flat on the floor, and you did like this greasy
I remember
shuffle.
that in the kitchens. Yeah, I've had
the grease shuffle.
Lots of waitressing jobs with that.
And they had
shuffle.
those rubber mats. Remember the
rubber
with
the holes?
Yeah. So the rubber mats would slide across the grease too. So basically doing the grease shuffle for most of the summer. And, you get out of there at the end of the day and your shoes have like this.
You can't wear those shoes anywhere else ever.
Stink like fucking like French fries. Oh, my God.
Yeah, whatever you wear there is now relegated to only that job, and you throw it away.
I would take 3 showers to get the smell of like grease off me. But I remember scraping those things, and then I got bumped up after a couple weeks to dishwasher. I was washing the dishes, so they had these big machines where the waitresses and busboys, which I was hoping to become, would bring in the trays full of all that stuff, right? And they'd throw it on this roller, and it would come to me, would roll down to me, and I had to wash all the shit off with like this hose, and then put them in the racks and put the trays into this big machine and pull the thing down, right? Yeah. So that was it. So hot as hell because the water is steaming hot. I'm getting scalded with burning water all day. I'm doing the grease shuffle at the same time now because the grease is still next to the dishwashing shit. Only now I'm getting burned, right? So now I'm thinking, I want to be the dude. I know I'm never going to get to be a waiter or because I'm not old enough. So I want to be the dude that brings the tray in to me now that I'm washing, because he's dressing like a nice shirt. He's got a tie on, black pants. He's clean. He's out in the air conditioning with like, the normal people. I'm in the back, the fucking slave, the dude's
slave
back
labor.
Whipping
with
cracking the whip in Spanish.
No papers.
Andale, whatever he's hosing off the fucking crusty plates with the beer battered.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that job sucked balls, man.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
Yeah, I've had some nasty waitressing jobs too. I remember, oh my God.
But I was 14. I mean, so what do you do?
Well, I didn't waitress because I worked at Dunkin' Donuts was one of my earlier jobs too while I was in high school. And I ended up getting fired because I gave Mom a free dozen.
She came in for a free dozen.
Yeah, I used to do I did both. I did the counter and I also did the finishing in the back. And I was the typical kid serving coffee at like 6 a.m. to people. Because you remember when you're young and you're not drinking coffee, you know now being a coffee drinker, you go to get your coffee. Like these fucking kids don't do it right. You tell them you're like, I want it light and sweet, or give me 3 Splenda, make it really, really light with half and half. They don't fucking do it right. Like, what's wrong with these idiots? I was one of those idiots because you don't drink coffee. You're like, what the fuck? Like, what's with people are so fucking picky? I just couldn't get over how picky people were over their coffee. Like, just fucking take it the way I give it to you. What's the problem? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't fucking get it.
Drink it the way I make it.
Yeah.
And you'll like it.
Exactly. It's still coffee. What do you give a shit? I was so pissed. There was this one, oh my God, waitressing job that I had where it was like a little bit of a fancy restaurant and the people would order wine. And I knew zero about like a wine service. So I would get the bottle of wine that they told me they wanted. I'd get it. I'd be in the back in the kitchen and I would like be working on getting that cork out, and I'd get the cork out and then I'd bring the open bottle out to them and I'd pour them, I'd give them the bottle. I'd put it on the table.
Oh, no.
Right, exactly.
No. You're not supposed to do that.
I know. So one man very nicely said to me once.
It at the table, first of all, so I didn't know that. See you take the cork out.
Right, I didn't know that. And so the guy explained that to me. And, part of it was that I wasn't very good at getting the cork out.
If it's really fancy, you hand them the cork and they sniff it like...
Right. No, the cork was already deep in the garbage by the time I got to them with the wine bottle. And then he smelled it. He switched it around.
That's a fabulous bouquet.
How do you make that voice? So he explained it to me that I was supposed to open it at the table, which was a problem because, especially with those like small kind, not the non-fancy openers, like I couldn't master that. I was never good at that. That was fucked up. Then, oh my God, more shitty jobs. I worked with the developmentally disabled. For like right out of college, I was doing this. So I wanted to get into psychology. So I figured, that working with the mentally disabled was a good idea. It was a good starting job. It paid well, good hours, and it had benefits. So I didn't know that really included ass wiping and drooling wiping and
then you get the freakishly strong kids that like
yes. Now you know where the expression retard strength comes from.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! Like seriously,
you go to like grab little Johnny who's running across the floor.
Yeah, it's like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. These little fuckers.
Beats the hell out of you.
Yeah, and then like just fucking figures that I had the one group of people. Like there's a lot of the mentally disabled that like to play with shit or like they like to pick their nose or whatever, but that's okay. You can wear gloves, but the thing is that like I had this like she must have been at least 280 pounds, and they don't wipe good enough, so if you have integrity, you will wipe them, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure some people let it go and just, let them, if they're not wiped, oh fucking well.
Stew in their own sauce.
Right, but I couldn't do that. Not like I didn't, never wanted to wipe anybody's ass, especially a big, giant, fat chick, But I did it. Did not like that. It's just like that. I've done the utmost disgusting. There was one guy who like he loved to jerk off, and he had the world's biggest dick too.
Oh my God!
I mean, it was like if this guy was not like I think it was like severely autistic, he would be a fucking superstar out there with that dick. I swear to God, the thing was fucking tremendous, and he was always jerking on it. But the problem with that was that his hands, you could never touch him because his hands were always touching his dick and coming and all that.
No. What's worse? Like, touching the chick with the shit, or you got to touch that dude?
Both were like equally heinous. It's like, I swear, what? I just want to also give props to the people because we need the people who clean the bathrooms. We need the people who scrape the grease. We need the people who take care of retarded people's hygiene. Like, we need them. And
Absolutely.
we appreciate them. And, some of us
there
are like
a lot
prima
of people
donna
out there
motherfuckers.
Right now listening to
I
this
know,
podcast, they're like, wow, I have a really shitty job too.
Yeah.
And it's like, we just want you to know that we love you.
We appreciate you.
We've been in the trenches. We get it. And,
yeah. Been there, and I've done it, and
I can tell
didn't
you
like
this though.
it.
After having a couple of those shitty jobs, fortunately, I had them when I was really young, like those first jobs like that, and I figured out very quickly that. This is not what I want to do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and I really love doing stuff with all the dudes that I met over the years, through my dad that built houses and all the guys that taught me all the stuff that I know now. I started at that really young age, but it only took me like 1 or 2 summers doing lawn cutting and scraping grease traps to know that. No,
this isn't where I want to be.
I want to do something else.
And I was always raised like when you're done with high school, you go to college. It was like never a choice. It was what you do, So I think I thought of myself as better than that at the time, because it just didn't feel right, like, oh no, I'm not cleaning that bathroom. Fuck that, like it didn't feel right, and I wasn't.
I don't think anybody's better than that. You become better than that when you're smart up and you learn and you educate yourself.
I agree, but I'm saying as a kid,
until you get an education and you learn how to do other stuff,
right?
That's where everybody should start. I believe that everybody should start digging holes and scraping grease traps and cleaning up shit, because that's what makes you appreciate doing other things.
Absolutely,
but you have to do that stuff.
No, at the time, that's what I'm saying. At the time, I didn't have that. I needed to go through that, so that now I do. I do appreciate that. There was this
princess back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There was this. Yes.
Let me. Don't want to touch the doo-doo or the jizz.
Yeah. And spit. When people drool and it's there for a long time, the smell of drool makes you really want to vomit. It's horrible.
So you have to really give props to people who choose to be,
especially
in the medical industry, who choose to be like nurses and EMTs and caregivers, because those people, it's more than just a career, because you can get a career doing anything. Yeah. But if you choose to do that and help other people, and that's part of the job, you got to really, because one day we're all going to be drooling and shitting on ourselves.
Exactly. Yes.
You better hope you have somebody
who has integrity
that wants to wipe your ass,
and
that wants to clean the drool off your face. Or else you're going to be all crusted up.
Listen to this fucking job that I had. I was kind of like right out of college, and I had my own apartment, and I needed a job. Well, actually, I needed a job because listen to this shit. When I was working at that place with the disabled people, I wanted to work in the house with the older people, like in the group home, as opposed to the children's residence, like up until they're 18. I wanted to be in the adult group home because it was less of the, they were more independent a little bit. So when I interviewed, I got the job for that group residence, and it was a little bit higher pay, and I was so excited. So I wrote my letter of resignation. It was the same organization on the same property, all the same thing. It was Maryhaven. And so when I got the job in the group home, I gave my resignation to my boss in the children's residence. And I didn't know, because I think I was about 20, maybe 21. I didn't give 2 weeks notice. So they fired me. And I didn't get to the other job either.
Oh, no.
I didn't know. How the fuck are you supposed to know to give 2 weeks notice?
Oh, my God.
Right?
Well, you probably would go to whoever gives you your paycheck and, human resources or your manager or somebody.
How would I know without experiencing or somebody telling me that? I had zero knowledge of that. So that was fucked up. So anyway, now I was without a job and I needed to get money. So I applied for this job with an organization to be...
Now you're wishing you were back with Johnny Spankit and the giant sausage.
Yeah.
See what happens? Yeah. See how quickly things can turn around?
Yeah. So then... I applied for a job as a nanny. So with this company that hires out nannies, because I'm thinking, all right, well, that should be like a breeze for me because I'm a smart kid. I got common sense. I should be able to do that. So I applied for this job, sent them my resume, and I think they knew that I had a college education, no criminal record. I've already had a number of jobs, so I was a shoo-in. They hired me without ever actually physically meeting me, by the way.
Whoa.
So I got the job, I guess, over the phone or something. They got my resume. My first assignment was in the city. It was for 1 week. this rich family had a live-in nanny who was going away for the week. They needed somebody to fill in. The family, I don't know if you ever heard of Klaus Van Bülow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So he had the wife, Sunny. I think she ended up like dead. I don't remember the whole story, but his wife, Sunny, had a daughter. It was her, her husband, and her 3 kids, one of whom was a baby. So now she's got 2 kids. I think they were like maybe 6 and 7 years old at the time, and like a less than 1-year-old baby.
So you're going to be their nanny?
Yes.
First nanny job ever.
Yes. Whoa. And I barely babysitted. You know, the last kid I babysitted, I chased around the house trying to scare him with a knife.
Oh, that's great. I bet you didn't put that on your resume for the Van Bülow family.
I got off on how scared shit this kid was.
Oh, my God. Klaus Van Bülow, never read about that on your resume.
Yeah. So, exactly. So, I mean, these people were fucking loaded. I mean, they lived at this near Central Park. They had this gigantic. I mean, it was this apartment. An apartment was bigger than any house ever that I've ever seen. And not only was their apartment tremendous, but they also owned the apartment directly above them.
Whoa.
So there was 2 apartments, and the one upstairs was just like the kids' hangout. Like they weren't even occupying it really. Like the kids would just go up there and play. So my job was to like get the kids out of bed, get them ready to go to school, and then go pick them up, walk them to school, pick them up, bring them back, do their homework with them and such. And also for the baby, everything basically that's involved in taking care of a baby. So I'm there, basically not knowing what the fuck, you know, like I never had a job like this. So I needed the woman to tell me what she expected of me. So I think I was about maybe 2 days in, and we're having dinner. Like we're all at the dinner table, and it's me and the 2 parents, the 2 little girls, the baby's in a baby seat. And at some point, I think like the 7-year-old says, "Mommy, I want something to drink. I'm thirsty." And she says, "Okay, Allison will get it for you." And I thought to myself, oh, no, you didn't.
Did you think it like that? Mm-hmm. Was that the voice in your head?
Oh, no, you didn't. No, I thought like, more like, huh? Like with my Valley girl at the time.
What?
Because I was like, when I was, like, as soon as I was capable of pouring a drink, I did it. Like, I got my own stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as I was able to do things for myself, I did it, and I was expected to. And I was thinking, this girl was tall enough. Maybe she was even 8 or so. She was big enough and capable of pouring her own drink.
That girl is like 30 right now, and she still hasn't gotten her own drink. Right? So.
Right. But at that time, sitting there thinking to myself, I have a college degree, and like I've never been anybody's like servant or like maid, and all I kept thinking was, oh no.
Clearly you didn't understand the
It felt so fucking real, like the difference between like the privilege to have somebody to get up and get something for them and to be self-sufficient. And if you know what I mean, like get up, get it, bring it to the table or whatever. Or So for me, I was like, they were the former. So therefore that
yeah, that's what a nanny does.
So I packed up my shit and I left a note saying that that it was an emergency or something, like with my boyfriend, and I had to get out of there. And I got out into the street with my bag. I was like walking towards Penn Station. No fucking cabs were coming. Like I fucking walked at like 2 a.m. to Penn Station by myself. Waited for the next train it was a long.
You mean there was no one there to carry your luggage for you?
There was nobody to drive me there either.
There was no one there to roll your tote?
Nope. I went home. I even with no money, like I went back. I was like, fuck that. Like I could not. It felt so fucking wrong to be treated like the maid that I had to get the fuck out of there.
Well, there you go. So,
they ended up paying me actually. About 2 months later, I got paid for the couple of days that I was there.
Really?
Yeah, I was shocked that I got that,
wow.
But I did. They paid me, which was very nice.
Yeah. I see you actually got paid when you cut out in the middle of the job.
Sorry, Sonny's daughter.
Sorry, Yvonne.
So I guess that would have meant that she would have had to take care of her own kids. Oh, well.
Nope. No. She got someone else to do it.
Yeah.
When she woke up and you were gone, there was like 4 people waiting at the door for that job, probably. So
yeah. So that was my
So crappy jobs, man. But like I said before, there's a really good thing about crappy jobs. They teach you about how good jobs are.
Yep.
And I think that everybody's got to start at that point. Even like in my line of work, when guys come onto the job, it doesn't really matter to me how much knowledge they have. If they first coming in, you got to show me what you have.
Right.
And usually everybody in the beginning carries lumber, digs holes, brings tools. They're a gopher, until you show what you can do.
Right.
And like that's part of the way you learn.
Yeah.
It's part of the way you learn doing all that stuff. You don't just all of a sudden start at the top.
Right.
And it's like that in any other job. You
Yeah.
know. But then you got to give props to the people that choose to have those jobs.
Yes.
Because you're right when you said each one of those jobs are positions that are needed.
Yep.
How about this? How about we're sitting here on Thanksgiving right now, and how about all the people that we're talking about, the people working in the stores, because there's Thanksgiving sales when normally Thanksgiving stores are closed, or at least until after like 6 o'clock they don't open or something, right? Traditionally now they're open all day.
Yeah.
How about like all the like EMT workers and firemen and policemen and all those dudes that are like running around the city right now, probably in like tenfold. Everybody's working overtime because of all the terrorist shit and everything else that's going on, right? Those guys didn't have any turkey, Those people weren't with their families, but we need them.
Yeah.
And if I'm thankful for anything today, I'm thankful for people like that, because they're the reason why we get to be here and have Thanksgiving dinner. Freedom and all that stuff.
Yeah. But I'm also, let me tell you, I'm really fucking thankful for the bathroom cleaner over at the Bryant Park. That was the cleanest bathroom I've ever been in my life.
That place, there was some like really crazy stuff going on there, right?
They had that
automated
toilet seat cover that spun around in a circle.
Yeah, that plastic thing, like that plastic sock that's over the toilet seat.
Yeah.
I don't even think you have to press a button. It was like the motion
sensor. Automatically,
Right, like the motion flush, right? Like we flush it automatically. Same thing with that. So when like the whole thing went and it spun around, you got a fresh seat, man. Wow.
Yeah, that was the first time like that I've just sat on a public toilet seat.
You came out of that bathroom like you were lit up. I was like, what happened to that?
And there was an attendant in there, like she was on it. Like anytime somebody left the bathroom, she checked and made sure everything was clean. Like that was the cleanest bathroom I've ever been in, and I appreciate that woman.
Yeah.
And everybody else who does a job like her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Lord knows there's plenty of places that don't have people like her.
Look at Mike Rowe, man. Mike Rowe makes a living out of doing dirty jobs, and going around the country and talking to people that have dirty jobs.
Not anymore.
No,
I don't think that's still on.
Well, yeah, but
now he's praising his mom for using good paper towels.
It's in reruns. That's like I love that show.
Brawny.
Yeah, I love that show.
So listen, I got some questions for you. Before we wrap it up, Cindy Gunnels McCraney said, suggestions on repairing our 100-year-old family farm home in the country. Before we moved in, someone stole 2 of our solid heart pine mantles, so my husband put in this piece of furniture in front of where one used to be. The walls are 12 feet high, the ceilings are tongue and groove and great, but walls are cracking. Question, should we tear the old walls out and replace with sheetrock so electrical and insulation be added, or is there some easier way?
Well, there's 2 sides to that story. Okay, so people who want to preserve that historical, original architecture with most of those houses have like old horsehair plaster walls, and basically those are framed 2x4 walls like we would frame now, or whatever dimensional lumber they used back then. But they would go over those walls with a lath, which is a wood strip, and then a horsehair plaster. They'd mix up plaster and put in actual horsehair into it to give it strength. And it's really thick, and when it dries, it's like concrete on the walls. It's beautiful, but over time, it always cracks. So to rip that stuff out is a huge job. Now, if you have the budget to do it, I would say that, when you want to update the house, like all the electrical and everything else, and of course, insulation too. Back then, they didn't even insulate. They hardly insulated. Many homes back in that period of time, you would see very little, if any, insulation at all. Sometimes they would crumple up newspapers. In fact, the house I'm working on right now, I told you was built like not even that long ago. It was built in the 60s or late 50s, and I found some walls with crumpled newspapers which is actually a pretty cool thing, by the way, because like you can open up, like, you know, when you open up these papers, you can see.
Did you look at the date? Like, how old were the papers?
Yeah, there was. They must have saved some papers because I found some as late as like 62, and then the rest were like late 50s. So they probably saved them up, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the house was built in the early 60s. Anyway, if they take these walls out, it's a huge demo job. I've done it many times. It's a huge job. It's super dusty, super dirty, and it's a tough job, and it's going to be expensive. But the upside to that is that now you can go back and properly insulate all those walls, which is going to save you a ton of money on heating costs. And also you can update all of that antiquated electric, because back then they used all like, you know, knob and tube and all very different type of electrical wiring than what we use today. So all that stuff is, you know, there was no direct running grounds, very different electrical wiring. So now's a good time to do that. If you don't mind, you know, changing that historical, you know, architecture in the house. If they have an opportunity to do that, I would say for them to take it out and redo it. If they want to try to preserve that stuff, then they're going to get a plaster guy in there, and they're going to work through those cracks and try to, you know, repair those cracks. So it's not a question. It becomes more of a question of your budget and whether or not you can kind of move out of the house for a couple of weeks, because that's what it's going to take.
Okay. Thank you, Skip Bedell. Next question from Steve Paraman, a.k.a. Toaster, from the Adam Carolla podcast group on Facebook, who we thoroughly enjoy.
Is he still in that group? Did they throw him out of there yet?
No. We love that group.
Everybody loves Toaster.
No, I really enjoy being a part of that group, because those
awesome.
people they're nice and they're funny, and I really enjoy them. He asked, my serious question is, who are some famous people you've met that are assholes? I just have one answer for that.
Oh, God.
And that's Matthew McConaughey. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
If you guys have heard the Matt story back on the previous episodes.
You need to be kind and rewind. Check out our earlier episodes. There's a story about what a dickhead Matthew McConaughey is.
Yeah, that was a
Don't even get into it.
Disturbing experience, right?
He's just an asshole, pompous asshole.
There's been a few that I could say that you know were like not quite as down to earth as you'd like them to be. But for the most part, I got to say, we've met a lot of celebrities that pretty much like, you know, across
everybody
the board.
We've met has been good.
Yeah, really
I heard
nice
stories, though.
Down to,
from the makeup people who they work directly with other people. Yeah.
So the people
Sandra Bullock
is
a snobby bitch. You can't even talk to her.
Right, allegedly.
No, it's not allegedly, because our makeup person who we had on set did her makeup. And she was not even allowed to talk to her.
Yeah, that's who you hear stuff like that from a lot. The
makeup
people that work in
production,
lighting, you know, camera people that get around, you know, many different sets. So one day they're working with us, and the next day they're on a movie set, whatever. So you get to hear a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that you wouldn't normally, you know, be privy to.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock stood out as one, like she was another one.
Interestingly enough, when we were at the affair that we saw, Matthew McConaughey had, she was sitting at the same table with him that night, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Match made in heaven.
Yep. Okay. Excuse me. The next question was from Andrew Ant. The entire back of my 110-year-old house has sunk. The angle of my kitchen floor is about a 3/4-inch drop from one end to the other. There is a deck attached to the back of the house. Would it be worth jacking up the entire 25-foot width of the house to level it out? Or when remodeling, should I just shim and layer in a level floor? If I did jack it up, would I have to undo the deck, or will that raise also?
Well, if your deck was built after the house settled, then once you jack the house back up and you're going to raise it up 3/4 of an inch or whatever it's off, then of course if the deck is attached to the house, it's going to raise with the house as well. So there's two ways to do that. You just mentioned it. You can either shim out the floor joist when you go to redo the flooring in the house, or the right way to do it, I would say, would be to jack the house. You can detach the deck from the back of the house at the ledger. If you can unbolt your ledger and get behind it, remove the first couple of planks, run a Sawzall blade back behind there to cut any nails, undo your lags. If you can just undo that ledger from the house, you'll be able to jack it up do all your shimming, do everything you have to do back there. And there are companies out there that come and do that. They'll do it in one day for you. They'll jack the house. And there are precautions that they know what to take. So if you go through the proper means and you find the right people to do that job, you can probably just go right online and find, house jacking companies. They'll come out there and give you an estimate. And all that type of stuff, they're going to know what to do. They'll tell you exactly what needs to be done. And usually it's a one-day job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Skip Bedell. Benjamin Metcalf asked, I think I can answer this one. What is the best option for basic stains on carpet? I'm talking soda and hot sauce, not jizz, FYI.
No bodily fluids?
Yeah, no. There is a product that I had discovered about 10 years ago. I was at the Pet Industry Trade Show in Atlantic City, and it was it hadn't come out yet, and they were doing demonstrations with it. They had pieces of carpet that they had dried cat urine on, like seriously dried on, and they would take this spray and spray it onto this, and after sitting on it like a couple of minutes, then they would wipe it off with paper towels or so, or towel, and it not only removed the stain, it was a stain, it removed it, but it also removed all of the odor, completely gone. And this stuff it's called Fresh and Clean. It's got oxy type of stuff in it. It's by Lambert K, and it's called Fresh and Clean. I'll put that on our on the episode summary, so you can just get a quick link to it. Actually, because I actually have been buying it for years, gallon size from Amazon, because it's that fucking good, and it's actually made for carpets. It works perfect. It removes literally any odor, even if something is smelly, so that a cat won't return to the same place, but it'll take away stains for anything. It's amazing. Don't use it on your clothes.
There you go. Fresh and clean.
Fresh and clean. It works. Skip. Who said this? Nina House Badger. Our interior doors no longer stay latched, bathroom and bedroom doors. You can push it right open when it's closed without turning the knob, even if it's locked. They were fine when we installed them. This happened at our old house too. Is it the climate and humidity changes here, making them swell and retract maybe? Do we just need to readjust at the hinges? Does my husband not know what the fuck he's doing when he installed them? I threw in the fuck.
All right. So look at the door, the space around the door. Look at the top of the door and the bottom of the door. And if it looks like the spaces are uneven, like the door has shifted and is not square in its frame anymore, that could be due to a few things. The house could be settling, or it could be, climate change. If you're living in an area where there's a big swing in temperature, if the doors were installed when it was hot out, and they were installed with, a pretty large amount of space between the reveal all the way around the door. Once the house cools down in the wintertime, you might find that all that stuff shrinks up and that the opening becomes too big for the strike to meet the plate. So the part that's in the door, when you turn the knob that actually you see move in and out, that's called a strike. And on the door frame itself that receives that as a strike plate. So if they don't line up anymore, or if it's too far apart and that spring action strike doesn't catch inside the hole of the strike plate, that sometimes can happen, if you have a big temperature swing. So what I would tell you to do at that point is to remove the molding around the outside of the door, and you can shim that side of the frame in, kind of rehang that door so you can move the frame back in. It's a little bit of a job. If your husband already hung the doors, and he'll know what I'm talking about. But most likely, from what you're telling me anyway, that's probably what's going on there. Either that or you had some sort of shift. So if it's something that you see the door is really out of line, look around at the rest of the doors in your house. And also if you see any other signs that your house is settling, it could be a bigger problem. Hopefully it's just from the temperature change.
You're awesome, Skip Bedell.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, there's going to be a lot of Black Friday shopping, and I want to remind everybody that we have an Amazon link on our website.
Link. Yeah, that thing is awesome.
Yeah.
So many people have been writing to us and telling us that they're using it.
Yes, and we really, thank you guys so much, because I know I probably sound like a broken record, but without any ads on our podcast, there's no income yet, and so it really helps us out a lot if you guys use our Amazon link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help us out a lot to help pay for the cost of having the podcast. And it's also just a very nice thing to do because we love you guys, so just love us back.
Yeah, give us some love.
Show us some love.
It is the shopping season, so
it is the shopping season.
Click that Amazon link and find what you need and show them love for Hammer and Nails.
Yeah, hammerandnailspodcast.com is where you can find our podcast and listen to it there. And it's also our website, so you can click on any of the other links on our website, and you'll see the Amazon banner, and you can click on it and then bookmark it onto your internet browser. And also, if you are new to listening to us, please remember that there are so many other episodes before this one that are really fucking good. And if you miss them, just start from the beginning and just like binge listen or something, or if you're going on a trip or whatever. But make sure you check out those too, because there's some really good ones back there. We listen to them sometimes too, and it's just we keep getting really cool comments from people that they're listening and they're like
we record
binging
all over the place. A lot of times we're on the road while we're traveling, filming the show, or like we're doing it from a hotel, or we'll be doing it from here, like from when we're home at the ranch. I think actually this week coming up we got a couple of studio sessions, so we'll be back in the studio, and that's always fun too.
Yeah. So please listen to those earlier things because we put a lot of work into it, and actually it's gotten better over time. There was a girl who actually commented like a few days ago. She said something like, I love listening to you guys. I think you guys are great, but I fucking hate the soundbite in an episode. Like she commented on the sound bites. And meanwhile, I had already removed the sound bites from episode 2, 3, and 4, and I didn't realize there was some left in 5. So she must have like been listening from the beginning, not realizing that we haven't had sound bites since that episode.
Right.
You know what I mean? So start from the beginning.
Yeah, go back and check them out.
Yeah, because there's some really good shit, and so
Thanks for keep coming back, guys, and tell your friends, and we will definitely see you real soon back on the next episode of Hammer and Nails.
Thank you so much. Don't forget, we love you.
Later.
Bye-bye.
This is Corolla Digital.